Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the October 2025 TDL Member Forum. My name is Christy Park. I'm the Executive Director of the Texas Digital Library. As we gather in this shared virtual space, we'll start as we normally do by acknowledging the physical places that we're joining from, all of them located on the indigenous lands of Turtle Island, what is now called North America. I'm joining from Austin in the Central Texas area, where the Tonkawa were among the traditional stewards of the land before their forcible removal. And I invite you to share your own land acknowledgements in chat if you'd like to. We'll more or less follow our usual agenda today, and I'm joined in providing updates by Kira Hunt, our outreach coordinator. Courtney Muma is usually here today, but she's out this morning, and so I'll be covering some content that she provided about several TDL services and projects. And thank you to Megan Hernandez, as always, for managing our slide deck this morning. So we'll move straight into our services and projects updates, starting with our digital repositories hosting service. DSpace 8.2 upgrades are underway and will run through the end of this month, give or take a few days. We might need a few days in November to wrap things up. Nick Woodward has been working really hard to get as many fixes into this upgrade as possible. We're upgrading to 8.2, but there are a few fixes that weren't in the 8.2 release that he's pulled into this upgrade to make sure that you all have the latest and greatest. You can see on this slide a screenshot of a beautiful community landing page that shows a list of collections in that community, rather than just a list of search results. So this is an improvement that is actually returning to the way things used to work before the version 8 upgrade. And I know folks are happy about seeing that back in their repositories. So we're a few repository upgrades into this project. If you haven't been upgraded yet, we will contact you via a help desk ticket on the day of your upgrade. You can see the tentative order of upgrades at the link that we are providing in chat. We've had to go out of order on a couple of those, but you can kind of get a sense of where you fall in the order that way. Next up, our OJS hosting service. So the OJS users group currently is trying to better understand how we can support our OJS community. And so we have a OJS users group engagement survey that's open currently to help us plan meaningful, relevant meetings and resources. So we're asking all OJS users, or even if you're just interested in learning more about OJS, whether you've attended past meetings of this group or not, to take a few minutes to complete this very brief survey. We'll provide a link to it in chat, and that feedback will really help us identify any barriers to participation and shape future meeting topics and formats, and just overall build a more engaging and supportive community for all OJS users. It should take only about 5 minutes to complete, and the deadline for doing so is October 31st. And I just want to say a big thank you to Michelle McCrary, our current users group chair from Sam Houston State, for her work coordinating the creation and dissemination of this survey. Looking forward to seeing the feedback there. Okay, and now we'll move into some of Courtney's updates that she's provided, starting with our Digital Public Library of America harvesting service. The October harvest to DPLA is happening at the end of this month, and we're adding more than 5,000 new items in that harvest, and also welcoming a new participating member in Baylor University Library. So excited to get those Baylor digital collections into DPLA. Courtney will represent our part of the DPLA hub, Tex Hub, at the DPLA Network Summit later on this month, which is being held in Philadelphia. That summit will provide members of DPLA's community, will bring those members together for an important dialogue about the future of DPLA's cultural heritage program and about managing the challenges of our work in the current environment, as well as providing opportunities for sharing among individual hubs and experts. So we're looking forward to participating on our members' behalf in that meeting and bringing back what we learned, any outcomes from that meeting to you. Moving on to Vireo hosting. So we had a really nice turnout for our Vireo users group annual meeting earlier this month on October 6th, with nearly 40 members of the TDL community and the broader open source Vireo community attending. The recording for that meeting is available on YouTube. Slides are in the TDL institutional repository, and the community notes are also available for reference, and we'll drop those links into chat for you. Secondly, we've got a short sprint, Vireo development sprint, starting this week. Frank Smutniak, our Vireo lead developer, and Christopher Starcher from Texas Tech are working on a handful of bug fixes that will, we hope, have a high positive impact on our TDL users. They are focused on fixes to exports, both the ProQuest export and the kind of generic Excel export from Vireo, and also a variety of issues with email workflows that they're going to be looking at in this sprint. Along with a few other things. So that sprint will happen over the next couple weeks. We plan to roll out upgrades from this work beginning in early November. So you will see an email from Courtney before the end of this month outlining that upgrade schedule and how all that's going to work. And we hope it'll have some positive impact for you if you're a Vireo user. Moving on to digital preservation. The Digital Preservation Services Transformation Task Force has begun meeting. It first met in August and has met a couple times since then. And as a reminder, this task force is charged with devising a responsible and thoughtful plan for the future of TDL's digital preservation infrastructure and services that honors TDL's values and ensures a sustainable and community-based solution for distributed digital preservation of repository content, journal content, research data, and other cultural heritage content managed across TDL's hosted services. They started their work together by summarizing the aspirational objectives for transforming our suite of digital preservation services, understanding that solutions that we look at and recommend may be selected for their potential and likelihood to grow into a more ideal digital preservation option for TDL members. We will share the resulting TDL Digital Preservation Services Objectives document in the chat so you can kind of get a look at what the group is thinking about and looking for as they do their investigation and evaluation. The task force currently is now inviting representatives from different communities and partnerships who could be potential partners with us and who can speak to our set of objectives. And this week, they're welcoming Nathan Tallman, who is the Executive Director of AP Trust, the Academic Preservation Trust, and have already met with representatives from Locks at Stanford University. The goal of the task force is to draft recommendations for the TDL membership and boards by the end of this calendar year. And so we'll be, keeping you apprised as that group continues its work and report out results when we have recommendations. Okay, and finally, the Texas Data Repository. The TDR Steering Committee is actively developing a larger data solution for the data repository. And we also have a second ongoing project, which is to create bilateral linking between DSpace and Dataverse using the core Notify protocol. On both projects, we have engaged Jim Myers, a very experienced Dataverse developer who we've worked with before, and he is working with our internal development team, our sysadmins, and the TDR steering committee subgroups on these projects. And so that work is underway, and we'll share more as we have more to tell you. Okay, and I think that's it for me. I'm going to hand it over now to Kiera Hunt, our Outreach and Member Engagement Coordinator, to go through some community updates.
Thanks, Christy. Hello, everyone. So I'm happy to jump into our community updates. First up, I do want to remind everyone, I'm sure you all know that next week is Open Access Week, and we do encourage you to share any of your plans that you have at your institutions so that we can amplify on the TDL blog. And if you're interested in sharing any events or activities, the deadline to submit your event is this Friday, October 17th. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at info at tdl.org, or you can email me directly. Next, Access Ingenuity is offering a free webinar on manual screen reader testing on Wednesday, October 29th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. This is a great opportunity to anyone interested in extra instruction on how to use a screen reader to test websites. I do want to note that Access Ingenuity does not record and share their free webinar. So if you're interested in this event, you want to be there when it's live. I do want to thank those of you all who shared this webinar with us on the TDL members listserv, and I was happy to amplify over on the forum as well. Next, mark your calendars for the TDL GIS interest groups pre-GIS Day celebration taking place on Wednesday, November 12th from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. The GIS interest group is inviting everyone to present on any aspect of GIS and mapping. This year's celebration is cat themed and offers several presentation formats, including a 5-minute kitten cuteness option or the cat attack Pechakucha. So if you have any questions about the proposals, you can contact Christina Conch, the chair of the TDL GIS interest group. And we also have an event post on our website where you can learn more about registration and details about the event. Next, the Digital Library Federation, or DLF, forum will take place in Denver, Colorado from November 16th to 19th, featuring Learn at DLF workshops on the first day. The event aims to connect practitioners from digital libraries, archives, and museums. A note that registration closes on October 31st, and the full program is currently available. And we'll have more details about the DLF forum in the chat for you all. Actually, before we jump into our upcoming events, I do want to have an update for TCDL as well, that we will be having the call for proposals available in early November, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so our upcoming events for TDL, a reminder that these events and meetings are free and open to anyone, and you're always welcome to invite your campus partners and non-TDL member colleagues in your network to join us. And the upcoming events are the Digital Preservation Interest Group meeting that's taking place on October 16th at 2 to 3 p.m. The GIS Interest Group meeting on October 24th from 2 to 3 p.m. The DSpace Users Group meeting on October 27th from 3 to 4 p.m. The Harmful Content and Description Interest Group meeting on October 30th at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. The Open Knowledge Access Interest Group meeting on November 5th at 2 p.m. The OJS User Group meeting on November 6th at 10 a.m. And the November OER users group meeting on November 12th from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the TDL's Free GIS Day event is taking place on November 12th as well, from 3 to 4:30 p.m. So these two events are happening pretty much at the same time. So you'll have to kind of decide which event you would like to attend. And we'll have more details about all of our events and the November What's Happening links in the chat for you all. A reminder to get involved with TDL and check out the latest TDL announcements for our upcoming meetings, events, and programs on our social media channels and in our bi-monthly email newsletter and announcement listserv. We'll have the Get Involved page link in the chat for you all, but we also have all of our social media channels listed on this page as well. And if you would like to contribute any news, any announcements or project updates or other content in an upcoming issue of the TDL newsletter or an upcoming forum, please feel free to email us at info@tdl.org with your ideas. We'll be happy to amplify or invite you as a guest speaker to the forum if you're interested. And you can email me directly as well if you have any questions about that. And that's it for our community updates. And I'll hand things back over to Christy. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Kiara. Well, we have a little time for questions. If anybody has questions about anything we've discussed today or anything else that you want to know about that maybe we didn't touch on today, please feel free to add those questions to chat, or if you want to raise your hand, I will make sure I can see you and call on you. While you're thinking of questions, I'll just remind you that if you have something you want to share with us or ask us anonymously, you can use our anonymous suggestion box linked to here, and we'll put a link to that in chat. It doesn't have to be anonymous if you want us to follow back up with you directly, or we can address questions in the forum at a future forum. So please don't forget about that and let us know what you're thinking about and what you'd like us to address. And I'll just reiterate Kiara's announcement about the call for proposals for TCDL coming up. That'll be coming out soon. Be on the lookout for that. We've got a fantastic committee of TDL members working on that, and it's been really fun to have some really just exciting discussion about all the great things we're going to be doing at TCDL next year. So I'm not seeing any questions coming in chat. Just checking through to make sure no hands are raised. Okay. Well, we'll wrap it up there for this time and give you a few minutes back in your day. Thanks for spending this time with us. And if you have any questions between now and the next time we meet, you know where to find us. We look forward to hearing from you and hope everybody is taking care and doing good. And we will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.